1, action.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Zodiac News Network. Jethro, we had quite a break there.
Yeah, it was fun.
But it's because we made a documentary. We had a documentary made about us. It's playing in film festivals. It has done well. It won, what, 3 best documentaries, full-length documentaries in a row.
Tucson Film Festival, that was a big one.
Yeah, it was. Yep, everything has gone well with it. And a company in Phoenix that makes TV shows is trying to make what they call a sizzler or a pilot to try and market it to Netflix, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's pretty big news. We're pretty happy. But we have not stopped working.
Right.
And we've got some big news in this show. I'm going to get to it in a moment, but I wanted to talk Jethro a little bit. I understand you have a new girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very beautiful woman.
Yeah, and I understand you're pretty tight.
Yeah, great relationship.
Yeah, and I hear you met her under very unusual circumstances.
Yeah, it was at a bar. Yeah.
A bar.
Yeah.
But there was something like...
Well, yeah, she was choking to death.
She was choking, right, on a what was it, a cherry?
Maraschino cherry.
Maraschino cherry, right. And you saved her life.
Right.
And how did that happen?
Well, hanging out with you, because you're a doctor, I've learned a lot of different methods of extracting.
Yeah, right. So emergency stuff. That happens.
Emergency care, right.
Good. So she was choking on a cherry.
Right.
Did she use that universal hand sign where she put her hands up to her neck?
She did. She did.
And did you ask her if she could breathe?
No. I just went behind her.
You went behind her
and performed the maneuver, and I pulled her pants down, and then I spread her butt cheeks, and I did the what you told me, the hind lick maneuver.
The hind lick maneuver, Jethro? You mean you did the Heimlich, Dr. Heimlich.
Oh, well, the cherry came out one way or the other.
And I'll bet she really likes you.
She does. She loves me.
Jethro, the Dr. Heimlich maneuver is you do go behind the person choking, but you wrap your arms around them and then you give a abdominal thrust, and the cherry comes out. You don't pull her pants down and do a Heimlich. Well, let's move on. We have some big news. For those of you who have been following us, you know that we find cartoon faces on Zodiac letters, Zodiac items. We've shown you a bunch. And we had a huge discovery in the filming of the documentary where we noted that there was a autopsy photo of a woman down in LA. It was Jane Doe Rancho Cucamonga. And we just happened to be looking at her, and I said, wait a minute, what's going on in her face? We applied the hyperspectral digital imaging.
Right.
And we found a ton of cartoon faces on her, which then prompted us to start looking at Jane Doe's. And I'm going to read you the list now. All of these people I'm going to tell you about are Zodiac victims, and it will surprise a lot of people. And for a lot of you guys who follow the Zodiac cases, you'll recognize some of these faces. So I'm going to start off with the known ones. Dominguez and Edwards at Santa Barbara are well known. We did find Felix the cat on the .22 caliber bullet box that was found next to their body, and we've got a picture of that off the detective. We've got, of course, Sherry Jo Bates, David Faraday, Betty Jensen, everybody knows about, Mike Majou, Darlene Ferrin, Brian Hartnell, and Cecilia Shepard. That's your Northern California people, and this is where the big surprise came in. There are more victims down in LA than there are in Northern California. I'm going to read them off, and these are people we have confirmed to have the images on them. Mark Waltz, Los Angeles. Marina Habe, Los Angeles. Doreen Gall was suspected by many people, definitely a Zodiac victim, as is Paul Sharp. Jane Doe 59, recently identified as Reet Jurvetson, Los Angeles, Zodiac victim. Jane Doe, Los Angeles, 1989. Jane Doe, Rancho Cucamonga. Jane Doe, Huntington Beach. Jane Doe, Orange Socks in Texas, which is a big surprise for a lot of people, but we'll explain why later. Jane Doe, Walker County in Texas. Jane Doe, Iola Gold Coin in Texas. Jane Doe, Arroyo Grande in Las Vegas. Jane Doe, Sahara Sioux in Las Vegas. And then we have two preliminaries we're working on right now. They look real good. One is Jane Doe, Amarillo, Texas, and the other is Judy Hakari, who was a nurse up in Sacramento. We've got 23 Zodiac victims, 2 that we're working on. And we now believe that the number of people he killed is 59 from our work. We will go into that probably in another episode, but today we're going to show you some photos. This is very exciting. We're having tremendous luck with the detectives down in Texas, and we've got some people down there who have DNA on them, so we'll get back to you.
Action.
Okay, Jethro, from the time we filmed the introduction, we actually discovered another Jane Doe, and I forgot to add 2. So,
Okay.
On top of what I already said, there's Donna Lass, who is a Zodiac victim. There's also Jane Doe Lompoc, which we don't have a photograph of, and a new one that probably no one has ever heard about, Mary Frances Lloyd, murdered in 1985, I believe.
Okay.
Let's go to this particular photo that's up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And this is an artist's rendition of a dead person. We can't work off a photo like this. What happens is they have Jane Does that are dead.
Right.
And there's Jane Doe autopsy pictures, and then there's Jane Doe artist renditions. They interfere. An artist rendition is not the real thing.
Right.
We use science. We use hyperspectral digital imaging. We have to look at real bodies. And so I just threw this up because you cannot work off the... Now see, Jethro, this is actually an autopsy photo of a dead person.
Right.
This is what we have to work off of. This is what, hyperspectral digital imaging. You can see there's no muscle tone left in the face. The eyes have a blank stare. They're lifeless.
Yeah, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg isn't dead.
Oh, well, anyway, that sure looks like a dead person to me. So,
okay.
But anyway, let's move on to the next photo. This is the story of Mary Frances Lloyd. She was abducted from a Safeway parking lot in Auburn, California in 1985. She was kidnapped in her own car. She was later found dead in Placer County. But her car was found, and this is a photo of her car. Her car was found in West Hollywood, California. It was described by the authorities as clean as a whistle. It had been wiped clean. Nothing on this car except for a pair of glasses that were found on the front seat. And you know how important these are. We'll get back to these, so hold on a second. So the reason I'm bringing up this car is, and you know why, what does the Zodiac do to victims' cars?
Plants images on them.
Right. He's going to put images on them. His favorite places, of course, are the windows and the door panels. And so we have a victim's car. Nobody knew who killed Mary Frances Lloyd, but we have a car to look at. And when we go through the photos, if you look at the front windshield right there, and basically right in the middle and also a little off to the passenger side, and don't blow this up, keep them small.
Right.
What do you see?
I see images.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 great big
Right.
faces, cartoon faces, on the windshield of Mary Frances Lloyd's car.
Now, wait a minute. If there's cartoon faces on the windshield, how can you sit there and drive and be able to see and drive?
Well, that's the point, Jethro. Remember, these are invisible. We only see them because of hyperspectral digital imaging. Now, nobody saw this. Not a single detective, not a single investigator. This is just a close-up, and you can see that if you really look close, there's actually 3. They're kind of a row of them. One is down low, and they're all right across the front windshield. Keep your viewer small at all times. If you blow the photos up, you spread the molecules. That's why they created 4K TV. Keep them small. Use a magnifying glass. Do not enlarge these photos. Mary Frances Lloyd's car is covered in cartoons. I want to go to this.
Oh my God! How could she see out of those glasses?
Well,
There's
she
like
just put
2
them on her
holes.
face. I don't understand.
There's 2 giant white dots.
You're not talking about those big bright dots there, are you?
Yeah.
Jethro, that's the flash bulb of the camera going off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus. This is very, very important. The moment I saw these, I knew this was the work of Arthur Lee Allen because of what other victim that we've mentioned. You know who. And what's her name?
Oh, Reet.
Reet Jervetson.
Oh, Reet Jervetson.
Right.
Sure.
What did we find, or what did the authorities find at the dump site of Reet Jervetson?
They found her glasses.
A pair of glasses.
Right.
We don't know if they're Reet's glasses, but
Right.
we know that Arthur Lee Allen left them, and I have a photo of them. And why do we know that Arthur Lee Allen had these in his possession? What does he do to the things
Puts
he...
images on them.
Right. He puts images on everything he leaves at the crime scene. Every detective I talk to, I tell them if there was anything at the crime scene that stood out of place, but it was close to the body, he adorned it. Once again, I tell people, do not blow these photos up. Keep them as small as possible. Use a magnifying. Across the top of these glasses, you can see the outlines, and if you look real hard, you can see there's a row of faces, and in several of them, you're going to see the pupils. These glasses have faces all over them, as does the glasses found on Mary Frances Lloyd's car. Those are her glasses on the front seat. Arthur Lee Allen is responsible for the death of Mary Frances Lloyd. Nobody knows about that until we just recently discovered it. This girl right here, I showed a lot of Jane Doe pictures because what we're doing now is we're looking at Jane Does. And we want these girls to be found. We want people to see these pictures and take these girls home. We've looked at, 200, 300 Jane Does? And out of 200, 300, we have 17 or 18 that are covered in the images, the cartoon faces. They're covered. It's not even funny. This is Jane Doe Rancho Cucamonga. She was absolutely critical in discovering that she was the one that I found the first tattoo, I guess, on a Jane Doe. And we want to get these pictures out. We think we're getting close to this case getting solved because of the DNA down in Texas. And I just want people to look at these girls. They were murdered by Arthur Lee Allen. This is what she looks like in the morgue. And what I want to point out in this picture is misconceptions. Number one, everybody looks at that face and says, oh man, she got the crap beat out of her. That is not true. Her face is not swollen. When you beat somebody, they swell. Now, if you beat them after death, they won't swell, but it's not going to bruise because there's no blood pressure for the blood to go to that area. What we're actually seeing on her is rows of tattoos. I want you to pay very close attention to the top of her forehead on the left side. There's a blanched area. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I want you to look at that is because of this girl. This girl is Jane Doe L.A. 1985 or 89, I can't remember. And she also has the blanched area in the exact same spot on her forehead. Now, a lot of investigators will say, oh, well, that's where he hit her. No, it's blanched because he pressed onto her forehead with something stiff and hard, and he left tattoos on the forehead. That's where we find the tattoos. And if you look at her closely, you will see the pair of dice on the tip of her nose. Those are pupils, and this girl is a very definite victim. Let me see if I have one more photo of her. Yeah, now you can see the blanched area very clearly in this photo. Keep it small and use a magnifying glass because you will see over her right eye there is a yellow tattoo you can just barely see. And then above that there's a V-shaped tattoo that you can see. And you can also see the outline of the tattoo on the tip of her nose. These are really spectacular under close-up, but we're just giving you a taste of what we look at. I call these markers. This girl's very much a victim of the Zodiac killer. Now, there is a tattoo. Can you see that?
Yeah.
What do you see when you look at that?
I see two eyes and a mouth.
Right. The eyes. Do you see the sclera, the outline of the scleras?
Yeah.
Are they round or
Like
are they?
a duck.
Yeah. Do they look like shields, kind of like
Yeah.
a square or shields? Yeah. This is smiling face. He's very clear. I'm going to show him many times for people who just can't see him in that picture. There he is in that picture. This is Rancho Cucamonga. These are not hard to see. We've got his secret. We know what he does, and it's going to bring him down. There's another picture of Rancho Cucamonga that's Smiley Man on Rancho Cucamonga. And I think I have one more. There we go.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say? Yeah. Now, for all these freaks out there who think that this is pareidolia, they can drop dead as far as I'm concerned. That's a joke. We've got, 17 Jane Does with cartoon faces plastered all over them. Their jewelry has it. Their clothes have it. The items found next to them have it. We've got this guy.